So the future, the future president of the Liga, what will do, what think he can do, what think homeopaths can do, and
yes. So I mean, one of the things
perspectives.
about the Liga is that we have a tradition of continuity. So I started in 2016, and I started as a secretary of public relations. His problems in homeopathy, dating back to the mid 19th century, which actually hurt homeopathy tremendously, is the division within homeopathic medicine. And I think what happens is that the mind evolves, and we evolved emotionally and intellectually. And back then, I think people were more black and white,
Yeah.
and took sides. And I think we now are in a new era when we need to understand that there are other perspectives, that other people look at things differently. I can still hold on to certain principles, but we need to understand that other people may have other ways of looking at things, different ways of practicing homeopathy. And that doesn't necessarily mean that it's wrong, but we don't know yet what is the best in each particular case. So it is possible in the future we may be able to distinguish which patients need a certain kind of homeopathic medicine and what patients may respond to a different kind of homeopathic medicine. That's why we need more research. So one of the emphasis that we have now is gather more research, replicate research that has been done, develop new standards, knowing that homeopathic medicine can be proven with conventional scientific standards, that we can develop protocols that are valid, that are reliable. So we can really know how it works, why it works, and in what cases it works best. And I think that's the future, is really evolving in the research, kind of maturing, distilling, and clarifying what Hahnemann's teachings have been and how we apply them now in the modern era. I agree with Dr. Altonai that the research is going to be advancing with artificial intelligence. Can you imagine? We have 3,000 publications through 200 years of homeopathy. If we take artificial intelligence and say, search all the cure cases of certain condition,
very easily to see,
and we would have that data available in an instant, basically. It's remarkable what we could have. It can give room to a lot of problems, which is people using it to treat themselves and not really knowing that, well, that may not be exactly the remedy for them because they don't have the view or the training to understand what symptoms are most important, what symptoms to focus on, how to take a medicine, what happens if you get an aggravation from a medicine, which is a topic that is not often discussed, but it's important to address at some point, sooner or later. So I think that's very important. And in the future also is, how do we navigate the attacks that homeopathic medicine is having? First of all, unfair attacks, because very often it's said that homeopathy is a pseudoscience. And as I was saying, no, it is not. If you look at Hahnemann, he called his main book the organon of rational medicine. He was following Francis Bacon, who was considered to be the founder of the modern scientific method. Yes. And he was following Aristotle, who also called his main book the organon. So Hahnemann was following the scientific tradition. So people look at him and say, well, he was not a scientist. Well, he was a scientist according to the parameters of his time. Now we need to update that science to today. And that's what we're trying to do. With that, we need to change our narrative. And we need to stop defending ourselves and start to promoting what is positive about homeopathy. We have the evidence, significant evidence from all the levels of the pyramid of evidence. So it's about how we educate the people, how we educate the public, how we educate legislators that wait. We have this perspective, which is true, and how we can present the homeopathic position as an ethical position, a moral position.
Yeah.
Because how could we be treating people with toxic compounds forever at a high cost with genetic diseases and so forth? And now we can cut down costs in that way by using homeopathy. So it becomes a more unethical issue.
And, you know, research requires money. You should know. I mean, everybody knows. I agree that homeopathy needs a lot of research, more or much research, but you think that Liga can do something for this, in the sense that in general research is paid by states, it's not paid by other people. Yes, there are private companies that do research, and but in general they do research for themselves. They don't do research to show something. Liga thinks about this, knows what to do about this. It wants to sensibilize the governments and WHO to give some money, public money to research. And there is also the other point that we need a critical number of researchers to start to have a critical number of research papers. So this is also another thing that I have seen in the university is not so easy to find.
Right, right. Well, I think the first thing is to consider the passion. And I think that most of us that have come to homeopathy have the idealism and have the honor of being a homeopath. And I think because of that, we are motivated to do everything we can to do research. The research that we have so far is because of people that have committed their life to produce this research. There is some money that has come in, small amounts, but those monies are being used to the best way we can. There are some trust funds that have been left by people that loved homeopathy, and that we're using those monies to research more and more. And once we have that basis, these preliminary studies, this early proofs that it is a proof of concept, then we can approach governments and say, listen, you're spending $3 billion in healthcare. By using this method, you can decrease mortality, you can decrease morbidity, you can decrease costs, healthcare costs, decrease suffering. So how does that sound to you? That's what I'm saying. It is a moral and ethical issue.
Yes,
should we continue contributing to a system that is only perpetuating disease, or can we use something that is promoting health?
It was a very nice meeting to you, and I will finish in Italian. Grazie mille all'attuale presidente della Liga, che fra poco lascerà diciamo, la guida al nuovo presidente della Liga. Grazie mille.